So in 3.7, we're going to take unit conversions to the next level and do multi-step conversions. You're going to need more than one conversion factor in each problem. So let's just remind ourselves about canceling. Right here you can cancel the 8s, you can cancel the 5s, you get 3 over 1, which is just 3. There's the multiplication dot. You can cancel 3's there. They become 1's, by the way. You can put that if you want. The 5 and the 55 are on the same times table because 5 divided by 5 is 1. 55 divided by 5 is 11. So now what we have, and you can put the 4 over 1 if you want, but it's 4 times 11 is 44 over 1, which is 44. Canceling. We're going to be doing a lot of canceling today. Use multiplication of fractions to determine how many minutes in 4 hours. All right, so you have 4 hours. Right? And then 1 hour, got to cancel hours, equals 60 minutes. So it's 4 times 60, or 240 minutes. 240 minutes in 4 hours. 540 minutes, therefore, we put 60 minutes down here. And you got 1 hour, and the zeros cancel, and 6 goes into 54. 60 divided by 60 is 1, otherwise, or 6 goes into 54 9 times. 60 into 540 also goes 9 times, and so you get 9 hours is the same as 540 minutes. So here we had a one-step conversion. Now we're going to do a multi-step conversion. Right, so this is how you would set up how many seconds in a day. So let's just look at this before we do some. So if you have 1 day, right, to cancel days, we need something, we can convert 1 day into 24 hours. But we don't want to know how many hours in a day, we want to know how many seconds in a day. So we can cancel now, we can cancel the hours here, right? It's the same pattern. And we can do that because 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So the hours cancel, and now you've converted how many minutes in a day. How many minutes in a day? 24 times 60. And then we could convert how many seconds into a day. How many seconds in 1 minute is 60 seconds equals 1 minute. So in 1 day, there is 20, right? In 1 day, there is 24 times 60 seconds. So that's a multi-step conversion. So let's do simpler ones first. All right, it says we want to know how many inches in 5 yards. All right, so we have we're going to do this with 2 conversion factors because that's what we're learning. So we can convert yards into feet using the first one. Now we're going to cancel yards, right? It's the same pattern. Yards cancels yards, and 1 yard equals 3 feet. So that math will convert yards into feet. Then we're going to convert feet into inches, right? So we're going to use the other one now. 1 foot is 12 inches. And so look what happens. The feet cancel feet, the yards cancel yards, and the units you need for the answer, how many inches in 5 yards, is right there. So it's 5 times 3 times 12. Now this is all multiplication, so you can multiply it in any order. But all right, so we can do 5 times 3 and 15 times 12, or you could do 36 times 5. I actually think that would be easier, but right, because you could do the 3 times 12 first, 36. 2 times 5 is 10, and 2 is 3. Step over. 1 times 15, and it's 180 inches in 5 yards. All right, but the work is not showing that multiplication. You know how to multiply numbers. This is the work you need to show today. All right, so now we're going to convert 72 inches into yards, right? Well, we know there are 12 inches in 1 foot, so that will convert inches into feet. But we want inches into yards. So now we'll use the other one. 3 feet equals 1 yard, and those cancel. So now this time it's 72, right? It's 72 over 1 times 1 over 12 times 1 over 3. That's what you've set up. So, and this is why you need to use this method, right? Because you want to know whether you're multiplying or dividing or let's say multiplying or canceling, because what is the 12 on the top or is it on the bottom? You need to know that before you start doing the work. You can't simply start multiplying and dividing without setting it up. All right, so now we can do this in many orders, but 12 goes into 72. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 72 divided by 12 is 6. Oh, look at that. 6 goes with 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And this is actually 2 yards, right? 36 inches is 1 yard. 2 yards. 72 inches is 2 yards. And you'll notice also in these problems, you never use a conversion factor twice. Once it's used up. Okay. All right, so Peter studied for 3 hours for a test. You'll study way longer than that in college. And we want to know how many seconds he studied. Well, it doesn't, right? Oh, so we could use a conversion factor for seconds to hours, but they didn't give us one, right? Or hours to seconds. They did give us hours to days, but that goes in the wrong direction, right? Because then we would go days to weeks. We don't want that. So this is a little more complicated. We need hours that gets us towards seconds. So I think we're here. So 3 hours. So we're going to put 1 hour down here equals 60 minutes. That will get hours into minutes. Then we got to turn the minutes into seconds. So then we have 1 minute equals 60 seconds. All right, so we're going to be multiplying, right? So 3 times 60 is 180. And then let's actually do this an easier way. 6 times 6 is 36. So 60 times 60 is 3,600, right? 6 times 6 is 36. Add 2 zeros. That's what happens there. Now, if you're not sure about that, let's see it, right? 0 and 0, there are the 2 zeros. And then you step over for the next row. 6 times 0, another 0. 6 times 6, right? 3,600. So then all we have to do is multiply that by 3 for the final calculation. 3 times 6 is 18, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So in 3 hours, there are 10,800 seconds. All right, 168 hours is how many weeks? So we're going to start with 168 hours. And I've already told you it's at least 2 steps to do that because it's a multi-step lesson. So what will get us hours to weeks? All right, we can go hours to days, right? There are 24 hours in one day. And I would set this all up before I do any actual work because you want to make sure you did it right. And then in one day, right, in one week is 7 days, right? So 7 days equals 1 week, right? 168 hours is how many weeks, right? You want the correct word to end up right there. Right, we want weeks. And so now, does 24 and 7 go into 168? Well, let's start with the easier one. So let's see, 7 goes into 168. Well, 7 goes into 16 twice. 2 times 7 is 14, remainder 2. 7 to 28 goes 4. All right, so this reduces to 24. All right, well then 24 cancels with 24. Yeah, this is 1 week. 168 hours is how many hours in 1 week? Right, 6 quarts is how many cups? So we're going to start with quarts, and then there's a table there, and so we're trying to go to cups. Well, we have cups to pints, and then pints to quarts. I think that's the way. So we don't need this one. So it's 1 quart equals 2 pints, and then 1 pint. Right, the pints cancel with pints. Equals 2 cups. So 6 quarts is 6 times 2 is 12 times 2 is 24 cups. Gotta spell cups correctly. All right. 64 cups is how many gallons? 64 cups is how many gallons? All right. All right, now I think we're going to need 3 for this. Let's see. So 64 cups. There's only one thing here with cups, so it's 2 cups equals 1 pint. But then once you use a conversion factor, it's used up. So then we can convert pints to quarts, right? So there are 2 pints for 1 quart. Pints cancel, cups have canceled, but we're at quarts now. We need to get to gallons. And so then it's 4 quarts. I got to spell quarts correctly. That doesn't look like quarts up here. And that's a Q. All right, 4 quarts is 1 gallon. So now it was 3 of those. So it's 64 over 1, right? So there's lots of canceling here we can do. You can just multiply these bottoms. 2 times 2 is 4 times 4 is 16. So this is, whoops, so it's 64 over 1 times 1 over 16. 16 goes into 64 4 times. This is 4 gallons. Now, if you didn't get that, you could do 2 into 64, and that would be 32. And 2 into 32 is 16, and 16 into 4, it's 4, no matter how you cancel it. 4 gallons is 64 cups. So it took 3 steps to get there. 2 pints is how many gallons? So 2 pints. And then we need to know, we know we're going to have at least 2 today. So we need to go from pints to gallons. So we need, there's the only one with gallons. So we're going to do 2 pints, 1 quart. So the pints cancel. And then 4 quarts is 1 gallon. All right, now I've canceled quarts and pints, and I've got gallons. So this is 2 over 1. So those just cancel. And the 4 is on the bottom. So 2 pints are how many gallons? 1/4 of a gallon, right? Because the 4 is in the denominator. All right, so which is the correct way to convert 100 miles into inches? All right, so miles cancels with miles, that works. By the way, you can see here that 5,280 feet are in a mile. And then feet cancel with feet. Yes, this is the one that will get you inches in a mile. It's 100 times 5,280 times 12. I didn't ask you to do that. You just have to be able to recognize, right? Inches do not cancel with feet. This is incorrect. That will not convert 100 miles into inches. All right, so we're going to need to insert the conversion factor here. Now, it says convert how many yards is to 144 inches. So you can actually do these backwards, right? We want yards and yards here. So you can put this 1 yard right there and the 3 feet there and work backwards because you know the units you need for the answer go there. So if the 3 feet goes there, that means the 1 foot goes there to cancel the feet. And the 1 foot equals 12 inches. So 12 very nicely goes into 144. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 144 divided by 12 is 12. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Turns out 144 inches is 4 yards. Steve studied for 10 hours. Okay, so I see 2 conversion factors there, so I'm going to write 2 of these. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. That cancels the hours. 1 minute is 60 seconds. That cancels the minute. 6 times 6, 36. We did this before. Add 2 zeros, 3,600. This is 10 times 3,600. Add another 0. There are 36,000 seconds into 10 hours. 48 cups is how many quarts? So we have 48 cups, and we got to end up, whoops, not equals, times. We got to end up with quarts. So what can cancel cups? Well, there's only one conversion factor that cancels cups. So 2 cups equals 1 pint. That canceled the cups. And then 2 pints equals 1 quart. Okay, so now we have it correct because the quarts are in the right spot. We've canceled the pints, so it's 48 over times 1/2 times 1/2. Well, let's do some canceling. 2, you can do 2 times 2 is 4, by the way, and do 4 into 48, or I'm just going to do it the slower way. 2 goes into 48 24 times, 2 goes into 24 12 times. So 48 cups is 12 quarts, right? Because 1 pint equals 2 cups, 1 quart equals 2 pints. 48 cups is how many gallons? Okay, so now we got to go from cups to gallons. All right, now we've already started this problem, so we're not going to mess with it, right? We have 12 quarts at this point, and we just got to get to gallons, right? So we've done the first two parts of this, and then quarts, we got to get to gallons. We're going to use the bottom one. 4 quarts is 1 gallon, so it's 12 quarts, which is 3 gallons. 12 hours is how many weeks? That's interesting. Very little, right? 12 hours. Well, what can convert hours? Well, we want weeks, so we're going to weeks. We're not going to minutes. I don't think we're going there. So 12 hours, and there is 24 hours in a day. So that gets us 12 hours is how many days? And then there are 7 days in a week, right? And that gets us week here. So this is interesting. So let's do a little canceling. The 12 cancels with the 24, and 12 becomes a 1. The 24 becomes a 2. So what do we have left? We have 1 times 1 times 1, and then on the bottom, 2 times 7. So 12 hours is 1/14, a fraction of a week. Right? 24 hours is 1/7 of a week, right? Because 24 hours is a day, so that's 1 out of 7, 1/7. So half of that makes sense, right? It's 1/14 of a week. Good luck with the homework.